A few months ago, I was sitting in a conference room with my mentors, my teammates, and a few high-level executives. And I remember that one of the executives came over to my team and I, and she told us that being successful is truly as easy as ABCD. Aim high, be true, commit, and deliver. As I sat back and I thought just how powerful those words were, I couldn't help but wonder how I had ended up in that situation. Because the Luis Vega that was sitting in that room was not the same one from a few years prior. Let me tell you about my journey and how I ended up on this stage. This journey began at the young age of 7, when my family moved from Monterrey, Mexico, to the United States. My parents moved my 3 sisters and I so that we could have a chance at achieving the American dream, a beautiful concept that states that no matter who you are or where you come from, if you work hard enough, you can achieve your own version of success. As a child, I didn't really understand the magnitude of the change I was about to experience. I just knew that my friends, my school, and everything else in my comfortable life was about to disappear. It was this change in environments that played a big role into the person I'd become. Someone who unfortunately didn't have any ambition and had no desire to find out what they were capable of. Now, fast forward to my senior year of high school, and the only conversations going on in the hallway seemed to be who got into what university. I didn't let these conversations bother me. In fact, I hadn't even thought about it yet. And then one day, this was no longer an option. I was sitting in my English class when the teacher, to my surprise, said we were doing an exercise where we went around the room and we talked about our plans for the future. I sat there and listened as 26 of my classmates talked about how they were going to X university to study Y degree. And when my turn came, I told them the truth. I didn't have any plans. That all changed, though, when I visited my sister, who at that point in time was a student at Texas A&M University. During my visit, I got to see the university's values of respect, of excellence, of leadership, of loyalty, integrity, and selfless service. And I felt an incredible feeling, the feeling we've all felt at one point or another. I felt that feeling of belonging. Those were my values. I knew that this was where I wanted to be, but I also faced the reality that having been the definition of average up to this point in my life will keep me from being an A&M student. Have you ever been there? Wanting something so strongly, but having it be just out of your reach. After a year's work at a community college, I was able to work hard and get the grades I needed to transfer into the College of Engineering at A&M. I was very excited to face the obstacles that lay ahead with my new mindset, the same one that had allowed me to work hard, the same one that had allowed me to get admitted. But I'm afraid to say after a few weeks, after the school year started, I became complacent once again. My mindset shifted back. Here I was at the world's top industrial distribution program that companies worldwide constantly seek to get involved with. Here I was as part of a program that gave students the kind of opportunities that my parents moved me to the United States for, and here I was wasting it. It was by pure chance that one day I opened up my email and I read one from the Talent Incubator program. I was fascinated by the program. I learned how it paired industrial distribution students with global companies and allowed them to use the concepts they'd learned in the classroom in real-world situations. I applied, and I wanted to be a part of it, but I didn't think I was going to make the final cut. And then one day the phone rang. It was Dr. Esther, the program coordinator and my mentor, who's actually in the crowd today. She invited me down for an interview. Now, in this interview, she said something that I thought was truly special. She told me that getting into the Talent Incubator, it wasn't about having perfect grades. It wasn't about who you knew. It was about how much potential you had. The potential to face challenges and come out stronger on the other side. And in that moment, she saw something in me that I hadn't even seen in myself. She saw that I had that potential because I was in. I remember in my first week, I learned that I'd be working with an RS on a project to leverage video content to increase value added for all stakeholders. I knew that this project was important, and because of that, I recognized that I had an opportunity here. It was an opportunity to grow, yes. It was an opportunity to learn, but most important, it was an opportunity for me to finally use some of that potential that I was beginning to see I had. From my first meetings with Lindsley, with David, with the rest of the leadership team, something became very clear to me. These people believed in me. And not only that, they provided guidance, they gave me a voice, and what I think is truly special is they let me see what I was capable of. I had gone so much further than I ever thought I could. But as I met more people from the company, something dawned on me. It wasn't just these people that were like this. It was everybody. It was RS. RS had built a culture that gives the new generation a voice, a culture that gives me a voice. It's a culture that teaches its employees not to fear failure, but to learn from it. It's a culture that excites me, but it's also a culture that should excite you. Because a culture like this attracts the best people worldwide, and it's with the best people that you can do the incredible. So going back to that moment in the conference room, I realized that I had made my way there because RS and TEX A&M had begun a transformation within me. I had gone from being the most average human being on the planet to being good, but that wasn't longer good enough. I was striving for greatness now. And as the company continues to make its journey towards greatness, so will I. So will you. And I'm excited to see what's to come. Thank you very much.